Irish.
Do you really?
Pregame.tv breaking down Iowa State, Notre Dame. I'm still reeling from the game I lost when I had Iowa State at home, where they have a massive home field advantage against Kansas, except if the game's fixed and the refs give the game to the Jayhawks.
You've accepted it?
Note the theme here, yes. So I'll be going ahead and breaking down. This will be a free play for me. VR, let me go ahead and start with you. Always have to be a little worried. Irish, are they always overrated? What do you think?
Always overrated, I think, is a stretch. In football, you know there's a premium attached. In basketball, I think it depends on the season, because they've had some down years as well. So I wouldn't go as far as saying, blindly there's a premium attached on this team. And I mean, it kind of shows by what this line opened up. You have a 10 versus 7, and it opened pick'em. Sure, Notre Dame went to favorite. Now they're, 1.5 point favorite. But still, I think if the premium was attached, it would have opened with Notre Dame favored. And when you have a 7 against a 10, it would have been warranted in most people's eyes. So I don't think that's the case blindly.
Mm-hmm. Bryan, Iowa State, been great at home, except for that problem with Kansas and the Hilton Coliseum there. Not so good on the road. In fact, pretty lousy on the road. I think they did beat Baylor, and when they obviously this team bombs from 3 like crazy. But can you trust a team that just can't win on the road and hasn't beaten anyone all year long?
When you shoot a lot of threes, it's a high variance. It's one of the it's not going to come into effect in this game, but it's one of those times when you have a team that shoots a lot of threes, you want to play them on the money line where they're a dog, because they might just
when
get
they're hot and
win.
Forget about
and there's going to be a lot of advantages and things like that. But you were talking about the first time they played Kansas, and you thought that Kansas got every break. That must be why Iowa State got all the breaks the second time, because the commissioner came down on Kansas and told them that they had to play it out the other way. Oh wait, Kansas beat them then too, and then they beat them again in the conference tournament. Maybe just Kansas was the
wasn't fixed.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't fixed.
That was one of the reasons I don't like Iowa State, is because after losing both of those games and then the conference championship, you say, well, this is the game we got circled, we got jobbed, and we almost beat them where they don't lose in the fog. We almost got out of the fog, and then we lost at home when we got cheated by the rest. But here's the game we can really show that we're a contender, and now they just get their butts kicked.
Maybe they just don't match up
well with Kansas.
Maybe it's a bad matchup.
Not too many teams match up well with Kansas.
Not at all.
Well, away from Fog Fieldhouse, they match up,
that's true.
A lot better because of that. I think that's great what Bryan said. Let me ask you, because we typically don't talk about ever teasing basketball because there's so much variance, but if there's one team you never would want to tease, and you probably would look, they got all these alternative spreads, where you move the line 6 points, and a team that just bombs from 3, anything can happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, they go, like you touched on, from being so hot where you're unbeatable to the rim looking this big and not being able to hit a shot. The thing about Iowa State is that this is an experienced team. That's the only thing that worries me if you're going to be back in Dame. I mean, I don't think them losing the way they did and not being able to get past Kansas, I really don't think that's going to linger going in the March Madness. I think this is a team that went in, like we touched on earlier, their season goal was to get to the big dance. I don't think their season goal was to win the Big 12 championship. I think when all of a sudden you find yourself in a position to do it, sure, it's great. But I don't think that was their season goal. I think the season goal was to get to this point. So I don't think that's going to linger. I really don't. I don't think that's going to have any effect in this game at all.
Well, my handicap on this game is a little bit of the hidden home field advantage, because I grew up in Dayton,
Ohio?
I grew up in Dayton, Ohio. I know the UD Arena. It's a very, very loud arena. This game is going to be Friday night, 6:45, and everyone knows Ohio State's going to have a big home field advantage because of where this game is. But this Dayton is located on Interstate 70, about halfway between Columbus and the Indiana border. They're very close to Indiana, and with this late Friday night time, they take one day off, drive down from South Bend. So there's going to be a lot of people who make this trip. If you're coming from Iowa State, you got to fly out to go ahead and attend. It's easy to road trip, take the buses down, and also in Dayton, there's a lot of just Notre Dame fans in the Midwest. We all hate Notre Dame, being from other parts of the country. But people in the Midwest really, there are haters, but for the most part, the haters aren't going to go to the game. It's the people that really like Notre Dame are going to buy up the tickets, and I think there's a hidden home field that's worth about 1.5 points that, because of the close proximity, that's going to go on, and in what should be a very close game, that's going to go ahead and be my handicap. I'm going to go ahead and make it official.
Do it.
Objections?
No.
Fighting Irish. I know we don't want them in football. They're always overrated. I think in basketball we can pick our spots absolutely and take this team. This is going to be a real close game. I'm going to go ahead and predict that in the University of Dayton Arena that the fans are going to support Notre Dame more, and that's going to push them on to the win on late Friday night. Bryan Leonard may not be buying it, but I'm right. It's going to win, and hopefully we'll push our video records even higher past the 30-13 record. Gentlemen,
I'm impressed that Notre Dame's 8-6 on the road. When I was handicapping this first round games, I saw most teams are barely or below 500 on the road. I mean, in college basketball. Even some of the elite teams this season haven't done very well on the road.
Well, let me ask you this. Being in Dayton with Ohio State playing there, who will have the most fans, Ohio State or Notre Dame?
Oh, Ohio State completely.
Well, then the Ohio State fans, who do they want to win, Notre Dame or Iowa State?
I don't really think they care that much because it's not like Notre Dame's a powerhouse. It's a pick 'em game. It doesn't benefit them.
Who's the team that has not joined the Big Ten in football that they've always wanted?
I don't think Ohio State cares because they figured they are the Big Ten. So I really don't think it's that big of a deal. But we'll see. We'll see if there's animosity from the football fans
there.
Going, and the Ohio State fans are going to dominate over the Irish fans. There certainly aren't going to be any pure Iowa State fans.
I know neither one of them are going to shoot any baskets for either of these teams. So it may not make
it's all going to come down to the athletes.
I just hope we don't see a Monte Te'o sighting. So and he's not going in the first or second round.
Guarantee his girlfriend will not be there.
Another free play if they put up will Te'o go in the first or second round? There's no way anyone's going to, even if he deserves to go, that they're going to take him. But stay with us here, pregame.tv. Forget the football. We'll be talking basketball all week long, all week next week. Stay with us. We should have some great discussions.